welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. I'm also going to be recording some audio for a podcast that I've been working on, and I'm still trying to figure out the lighting and setup and everything, so don't mind that. But wow, you see I haven't even started over here with the audio. Okay, no, I know what I'm doing. So I have like 3 things going on right now, so I'm a little bit all over 4 things because I'm trying to do my makeup, but I'm a little bit all over the place. So like I said, just bear with me, and I hope this is something you enjoy and probably make this into like some sort of series or something. So yeah, give me 1 second. In the spirit of Halloween, I'm gonna be going over some stories that I found online that I thought were pretty scary, kind of creepy stories. And the next episode that I'm gonna do, I'll be talking about my own personal experiences with the paranormal and just like in general any stories I've heard or anything like that. So let's get started with I really don't know how this is gonna go. I told you, I'm all over the place. So first I already started out with my sort of my base, because I'm gonna be doing a pumpkin look where it's like half of my face is pumpkin, the other side is a glam eye look. So I'm doing that. I'm going to be using Morphe 35M Boss Mood palette. I'm going to be doing like an orange smoky eye, so I'm going to use some colors from that palette. I'm going to just go ahead and go into the colors and we'll get started on the look. I can definitely see why people have like crews and stuff for all of this, like a camera crew and a sound crew and everything. It's a little bit crazy. So anyways, I'm gonna go in with the shade Fired Up. This shade right here, it's the shade I'm gonna be using, and that's gonna go in my crease area. So I'm gonna go ahead and take like a fluffy brush and then start to blend that into my crease, or lack of a crease. I'm taking this and I'm working it into my crease, and then a little bit above what my crease is supposed to be, just because the way my eyes are, once I open my eye, a lot of the color disappears. Right now this is looking really brown, but it's like an orangey brown color. So again, I picked up some more, and then I'm kind of focusing it on the lower part of the color I had already placed, just to kind of deepen that up and then not have super harsh edges at the top. I didn't even plan for it to be like a walkthrough tutorial, but here we are. Okay, now we have that blended. I'm gonna go in with Red Carpet. It's like a darker red orangey color, and I'm gonna focus that right here on this outer portion, and just like, I don't want to say dig my brush into here, but right here where it kind of goes in like under the bone, that's where I want to apply that color. Do people even like videos like this anymore, like in-depth videos? I feel like everyone is into like the quick videos, the quick tutorials, the quick second info, you know what I mean? I like to watch vlogs still, and challenges and tags, and of course makeup tutorials. And then again, I'm really concentrating that color, the Red Carpet, and kind of like blending it a little bit right there, kind of smoking it out, I guess you can call that. So now I have it like this. Then next thing I'm going to do is cut the crease, do a half cut crease with some concealer, and then I'm going to apply an eyelid shade, and that one's going to be Bright Eyes. So I just put the concealer on my hand right here, I like to work with it there. And then I have this brush. She's a little frayed. She's been used, but she's amazing. This is a e.l.f. Doesn't say anything. Oh, it's e.l.f. eyeliner brush, but any kind of brush like this works really well. I like to use this to conceal under my brows at times too. So I'm going to use this to cut the crease. So I pinched the bristles a little bit, and then I just like kind of mess with the concealer like this, get it on that one side, and then I'm going to sweep across and make the cut crease to stop right here a little bit past my iris. I'm going to speed it up so you can see it really quick, and then get back to talking. So I just had the concealer on here, and I gently like swept across, kind of creating where I want to place the eyelid color. And not breathing while I do it. So I'm going to stop there. That's what it is. That's what we're creating. I'm taking this other brush, just like a shader brush. I don't know. This says eyeshadow brush on it. It's an old e.l.f. brush. So I'm just patting the eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take... Oh, actually for me, I like to blend that a little bit because it starts to settle into my skin, into my eyelids. So I like to take my brush carefully. You don't want to blend it out too much because then it kind of like defeats the purpose of the cut crease look. In a way, some people like to do a soft cut crease, and some people like to do a more defined cut crease, like you know that it was cut. So I just blend a tiny bit just so like it doesn't get all creased up and in my skin all ugly. And this also helps me blend out the edge of the concealer too, so it easily transitions into the outer shade that I already placed. But you will need to do some more blending in a bit with that also. I have the shade on the brush, and I'm going to start applying it onto my eyelid. But with any eyeshadow, I recommend you tap the color on to avoid fallout. And I find that that's the best way to get the most pigment into your look. So honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna have fallout because I tapped a lot onto here. And I already felt it fall down. Okay, now it's completely filled in. You can add some more if you want. Darken it up. Then I'm going to take that first brush that we were using. I didn't put anything on there. And we're going to use like the very tip of it, of the brush, to help blend the edges. Don't put so much pressure because you don't want to move the product around way too much. You just want to blend it a little bit. Like tiny sweeping motions. When you blend it out, you're gonna notice that a lot of the outer corner shade is gonna be gone. So I'm gonna take the fluffy brush again, and I'm gonna use a little bit of both shades that we used in the beginning. So I'm gonna be getting Fired Up and Red Carpet together. Kind of like tap each color 3 times. Tap off the excess, and then I'm gonna press where I want the color to be. gently and then kind of brushing inwards. A little bit of blending. And then it's like that. Then after, I like to put a highlight shade because it kind of helps with your blending. It helps remove any harsh edges. I just like to do it. So I'm going to get another shadow brush. I'm going to use like a natural shade. A natural skin tone shade. Not white or anything like shiny because I want the lid to be the focus. I'm going to use a eyeliner pen to create a small wing. Probably not even a wing, just kind of line the top of my lid to kind of give it the more glam look. And I'm going to do that really quick, speed it up so you guys can see, and I'll be back. I'm going to just leave it like this, not a big wing or anything. I just wanted a black line on top just to add a little bit more to the lashes. So now I'm going to apply mascara to this eye and then apply my lashes. And we'll move on to the other side of the look. I'm going to start reading the stories once I start the other side of my face. This side I kind of require a little bit more concentration. Okay, I'm gonna put my lashes on and then I'll be right back. So I'm gonna stop right here and I'm gonna start to draw where I want the pumpkin to start. I don't know how I'm gonna do this and record and do all of that at the same time. So I'm taking NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Melts, just like a creamy eyeliner base type of thing, and mine is tiny. I'm taking a small brush as well. I'm using this to kind of like carve out where I'm going to apply everything else. So I'm gonna bring it down to here so I can do like highlight. And this doesn't need to be perfect because there's gonna be color leading up to it, and you can always like modify how high up or how low you want it, but this is just like a guideline for me. So now that I have this, I can start working on this other side. Not me having sound troubles. So disclaimer, I don't normally wear foundation and stuff, so if this foundation that I'm applying doesn't exactly match me, it's because I don't use it all the time. But I like to have something on hand as like a base if I need like a sticky base for some creative look to be stuck to. This is the LA Colors Radiant Skin Nourishing Long Wear Foundation, and I'm gonna be applying that. I already applied primer, and I used the Studio Fix primer in green, and then I used Ofra Cosmetics face gel primer all over. So I'm gonna start. That's a lot. You see how much comes out? That's probably more than enough. I'm going over my lips because I need that covered also, and I'm going to put color on that. So that's done. I need to start applying all of the orange that I'm using. I'm not going to use from the Morphe palette. I'm going to use, don't judge my palette, it's dirty because I use the hell out of it, but I'm using my Jasmine Will Beauty Neons palette, and I'm going to use this shade. That looks yellow on here, but I'm going to use this orange and this one. I'm going to pack on the color with a makeup brush. Get this brush just so it covers more. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to start with the lighter orange. Don't cover the eye because you will be turning it black. I'm taking another eyeshadow brush, just a flat shader brush, getting the black, and I'm going to start. So that's like the guideline I'm gonna leave there. I'm gonna continue on with the orange. I feel like it's gonna be way too much footage of me just packing on the orange. So I'm gonna skip that a little bit so we're more ahead, and then I'm gonna get to the scary stories. So I also have an Instagram where I do my makeup and I post any makeup looks, and right now I'm doing the 31 days of Halloween makeup challenge. If you don't follow me and you're interested to see more creative makeup looks, not just for like the Halloween season, I like to do a lot of different things, you can go ahead and follow me. I'll put it on the screen right now, and then I'll make sure I put the link down below in the description box. I also like to do like collabs and stuff with other artists, and I think that's really cool to see because people come up with like a lot of different things, and you kind of like build a community with the people that you're collabing with. I'm still gonna be filling this in, like shading it in, and I'm gonna look for some stories to tell you guys. So this is a story. It happened here in San Antonio, and it goes like this. So it says, I recently got out of the Navy and started driving with Uber. For the first couple of weeks, I stuck to hanging out around the base, trying to catch other service members who needed a ride. If you're wondering what I'm doing, it's literally still packing on the orange. So if I'm not in frame, you're not missing anything. I'm just making myself look like a Cheeto. Like I have Cheeto dust. Anyways. One Friday, as I was waiting for a rider, someone got into my car and asked if I could get him to Fort Hood in a couple of hours. I told him that would be no problem, and we started the trip. A couple of minutes into the ride, he asked if I could pull over so he could use the restroom. I pulled into a gas station right off the freeway. I was sitting in the car waiting for him to come back for about 10 minutes when the gas station attendant started locking up. That's already a red flag right there. I told him that my passenger was still inside and that he was using the restroom. The gas station clerk then told me that he had been getting ready to close the shop when he saw me pull in, and when no one got out of the car and I was still just sitting there, he decided that he wasn't going to wait any longer. Bitch, what? I insisted that this guy was inside, so he went in and checked and didn't find anyone. He even called his manager to get permission to go over the security tape. What he showed me gives me goosebumps to this day. I pulled in, no one ever got out of the car, and no one went inside. All I know about the guy was that his name was Mikey, he was 19 years old, had been in the Navy for 2 years. His wife, Marissa, was waiting for him in New York where he bought a house. It still scares me to this day. That's creepy. You see, that's why you don't give people rides. You never know who it is. That is so creepy. Like, what would you do if that was you and you had just given a ride to someone? So that was one. Next one is San Antonio, the city of saints and souls. One night as I went for a pickup, I was waiting for a rider named John, but that scared me. The car scared me. Mood, I'm scared already. It's 6:48 and I'm like scared that I waited for the wee hours of the morning to do this. Okay, back to the story. I was waiting for a rider named John, but a woman came to my window and told me that John would be out soon. She didn't get in, and I was looking at the app and didn't notice her after she told me John was on his way. Soon after, John got in the car and said, "Let's go." When I asked him if his wife was coming along, he looked at me strangely and said, "My wife is dead." I described the woman who had talked to me, and he acknowledged that my description matched his wife. Oh my God. Needless to say, I could not sleep that night. That's crazy. That's kind of sad too. That is scary. Go in with the black again. And then this one, I'm just packing it in, no blending at all. Okay, this one, 5 years ago, I was staying at an old historical bed and breakfast. I took a couple of selfies in front of the mirror, admiring my weight loss. I kept reading without reading out loud. Later that day, as I was reviewing the photos, I noticed a tall, thin, dark figure coming out of the curtains. And each photo I took, it got closer, bitch. It got me up. The last photo, it was directly behind my right shoulder. I asked the caretakers about the room, and they said in 1928 a boarding male died of alcohol poisoning. I checked out the same day. I'm now wary of dark rooms. I'm always wary of dark rooms. Dude, that's so wild. I've had things like that happen where like I capture something on a picture, but oof, it's creepy. Yes, but now I'm taking the black, creating the lines in the pumpkin. So I'm just taking this, it's kind of like the eyeliner brush I was using earlier, a flat eyeliner brush, and I'm just literally going to messily drag down the color. There's really like no, well, at least for me, there's no like perfect way to do this. I just kind of start wherever I feel I want to add that to. Oh, and then this right here, I'm going to do I'm doing this down here, but I'm going to use my liner to kind of sketch out better the shape that I want for the mouth. I'm honestly kind of just doing like jagged movements. So like that. Looks like a mustache. And then I'm going to fill it in with the black. And then I'm getting a smaller brush and I'm going in with the black and I'm like adding more darkness to the center of the line. One thing I like about this look is you don't have to be like perfect with it or precise. So now I'm taking this one again and I didn't put any extra on it. I'm just kind of like going over the lines, kind of blending it out, kind of blurring out the edges, just to make it like a little bit more messy. And you can even like turn the brush sideways like I'm doing, and it helps add a little. And then honestly right here, I'm gonna go back around and just face that with this. And if you need to, you go back with the orange. And then your small brush again that you use to define the black a little bit, get a little more black, and then you're gonna go along that. Gently smudge out that line. And it's going to smudge easily because we have that white right there too. Kind of turning it into like a cream. Take that fluffy brush I was using with the black earlier. I'm gonna go back with a darker orange and kind of brush it like in between a little bit. I'm gonna do back. I have this one. I'm gonna use my duo adhesive. Just gonna give myself a few drops on the hand. A small brush. I'm gonna dip my brush into the glue and dip into the glitter. It's kind of like messily apply it onto the black. I think I'm gonna put the other lash on this side, the pumpkin side, just to have it matching. And then I'm gonna line my waterline, and that's about it for this look. Alright, so here's where we are. This is what we got. And honestly, right here, you can like blend it up more if you want to, but I don't really do that. That is what it is. A little glam pumpkin moment. Super easy. You don't have to be like perfect with it. You don't have to be precise. It's two looks in one, something cool. And like I said, you don't have to be perfect with it, so if you're doing it last minute, this will be perfect because it looks like you have put so much effort into the overall look, and it's really like just a few products and a few steps and you have a really cool makeup look. Well, now that I'm like this, I'll continue on with the stories. This is what we got. And of course you can tweak it, do a different color, add more, add less. It's really up to you. I also forgot to mention, like, you can bring the orange down to your neck if you want to, and then just bring down the lines as well. Or you can keep it simple like this. I think both ways would look really nice. I think like this is good, but if you want to take it to that next level, definitely add the orange and just drag down the black with it. I think it looks super cute. Like I said, super easy to recreate. Follow this video if you have to. It's so easy. I'm gonna read a few more stories and then I'll close out the video. This story is from someone that's on Facebook. It says, when I was a kid, we were having a birthday party in our backyard for me and my brother. I think I was about 10, so my brother would have been 8. There were a lot of kids there. Well, we had this wood fence that separated our backyard from neighbors to the right. It was kind of weird. The boards were horizontal and offset. So essentially there was a space between each one that you couldn't see when looking straight on. Those neighbors were and still are very nice people. I consider them extended family. So of course, as kids do, we started to dare each other to do stuff. When one of us got this great idea and we all gathered at the fence. Did you know that if you stand on one side of the fence and call her donkey lady 3 times, she'll appear on the other side? We all began to chant donkey lady over and over and over. Afterwards, no one wanted to put their hand through the fence. So I was like, fine, I'll do it. When I snaked my hand between the boards, my fingers brushed against something warm and hairy. Thick, coarse hair like a donkey. My neighbors weren't home, did not own any animals, and their yard was locked up. That's creepy. That's ugly. So that's one that I found. Bro just scared me. I'm dead. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it off here and look out for another edition of makeup and stories. And I'm gonna give you my personal stories, paranormal encounters and all of that here in San Antonio. I'll share some other stories that I've heard, that my friends have told me, that I've heard from family, stuff like that. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like it, subscribe if you want to.
There was music and joy and marijuana. Tell everyone that you know all my life I've been a real one, yeah.